So, Oscar Piastri's taking his maiden victory in Formula 1. Now, I know he's already won a sprint race, however, this is Grand Prix format, and he's now taken his first victory. And I think today we should be celebrating that. However, we are not. Today we're discussing Lando Norris spitting out his dummy, and how upset he got about it, and Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen crashing together, and we're also discussing the fact that Max got really upset today that he didn't win as well. Now, Max wasn't really in contention for the race. However, the way he spoke on the radio, it would certainly look like he was, or he certainly believed he was. He wasn't really challenging McLaren's, and I don't think he ever really he put them under any sort of stress or any sort of panic. So he got a little carried away. But today is Oscar Piastri's race, and it's Oscar Piastri's day. So I want to take a moment to appreciate the man himself and how well he actually drove. Now, there's going to be some people in the comments who will say that he didn't deserve this, and it was Lando Norris's race to win, and that McLaren should have given Lando the win simply because he's the closest contender to Max and stuff. But McLaren isn't here to win Lando Norris a world title. Now, that comes as an added bonus, but just so you're all aware, McLaren want to win the Constructors' Formula 1 world title. Not the drivers. It doesn't mean anything to them. It's a fantastic bonus to have. But they want the Constructors' Championship. Now, 1-2 in the cars, it's maximum points. It doesn't matter which way around it is for them. The issue they had is they pitted Norris to cover Lewis during the strategy in the round of pit stops, so that they would maintain that 1-2. Now, they pitted Norris, and as a result, the undercut was really strong, and Norris got ahead of Piastri. But let's be honest, up until that point, Piastri had been the quicker driver, he'd been the more all-round driver, and he'd looked after the tyres better, he'd managed the stints better, so it was Oscar Piastri's race. The only reason he lost out was because McLaren gave Norris priority in the strategy, which, if you've been a Formula 1 fan for a long time, generally the leading driver is given the first choice in strategy. So McLaren mistake there, and they covered Lewis, but there was absolutely no reason to cover Lewis. He was miles away from where they thought he was. So McLaren's mishap caused this stress today, and Norris, he made it worse. He made it absolutely worse. He was very childlike today, and I was at one point a Lando Norris fan, and I think after today his stock has massively dropped. I think a lot of people lose respect for Lando today. Now, in the end, yes, he did the right thing, and he gave Oscar Piastri back the victory that he completely earned. But he marred the situation, and he took away the fantastic result that Oscar Piastri's had. He's taken away from that, and he's made it look like he gifted Oscar Piastri a race win today. Now, he didn't. That's not what that was. It was done incorrectly under a set of circumstances that were misread by McLaren, and as a result, McLaren's incompetence has caused this drama, which makes it look a lot worse for Oscar Piastri. We should be celebrating for the young lad today. Instead, we're discussing how terribly bad McLaren have done today. But to stop hammering McLaren, and to give Lando some credit that he did the right thing in the end, and to give Oscar the full credit that he won the race, it's been great. McLaren, maximum points. They've closed the gap massively to Red Bull. And to go into Red Bull, it was tough to be a Red Bull fan today. Max really... I don't want to get too much into it, but Max really didn't shine today. I don't know how to word it. He felt like he had the rights to that race, but he never really did. He wasn't in the race. He hadn't earned it. He wasn't going to win it, and I got very childlike. He got argumentative with his engineers on the radio. He wanted to criticise the car very quickly. Now, you've had a car. Oh boy, have you had a car for 22, 23 and 20 and half of 24. Up until now, there's been no struggles, there's been no battles, and it's starting to get a little bit more difficult, and you reacted the way you did. That was poor. Max is better than that, and he just needs to focus on the driving and get the job done. But he was very critical of the car. He was critical of the engineering decisions, the strategies, and that is so unlike Max. But we saw him under pressure today, and his mistake with Lewis, whether you say it's a Max mistake, whether you say it's a Lewis mistake, even Lewis said it was a racing incident, and it really was. Max outbraked himself. Lewis could have probably avoided it, turned the steering away from the corner, but why should he? He's not made the error, but they were both lucky to get away with it, and obviously Lewis scooped up the podium, and a good result for Mercedes. George didn't let them down. He let them down in qualifying, and Perez did the same, let them down and let Red Bull down in qualifying. So both had fairly good battle through the field drives but they got stuck behind Bottas for a long time, which really ruined their strategy. And then furthermore, they got stuck behind Yuki Tsunoda, which again, it just made today difficult. But they both picked up some points, but it's not enough for what they need to be doing. Perez should be top 5, top 4 if you really want to go as far as that, and George should be top 6 on a day like today. So the Ferraris, a quiet, unassuming race, not much more to mention on them. Aston Martin, I think you've got the McLaren's the best car. I think you've got the Red Bull, and then I think you've got an argument between Mercedes and Ferrari, and then I think the Aston Martin is comfortably the 5th quickest car, and that's where they are. They're miles away from the front 4, but they're clear of the rear 5. They're in no man's land, and it's a video for another day, but I think Alonso is a car killer. If you look back at Alonso's career and you see what he's done to all the teams he's joined, he slowly chips away at a car until that car is no longer competitive. Look back, just 1 year for Aston Martin in 2023. He was picking up podium after podium with Aston Martin at the start of the season. And now look, we're comfortably the 5th quickest team in no man's land. But he didn't have any influence over the 2023 car. That was done by Vettel in 2022. Yeah, if their 5-year strategy plan to win the world title is what they say it is, I think they've got a lot of work to do. The bottom 5 teams, let's be honest, V-Carb, Alpine, Haas, Williams and Sauber, they're in a different formula. They're not even close. They're not even challenging for it. They can pick up a point on a good day, and it's hard to watch because there's some decent enough drivers in there. Look at Nico Hülkenberg, but it's not worth mentioning. I don't want to spend a lot of time dwelling on that. I think a few things to mention is Perez, I think, is massively at risk. He needed a good weekend, and yeah, he did battle through the pack and he got back in at the points, but it's just not enough, and I think it puts him at risk. Daniel Ricciardo, he's not the star that Red Bull hoped he was going to be, which was going to make their decision to move Perez out easy, but he's just not doing what he should be doing, and I think it's tough. On reflection, today was a good race. There was a lot of things to look at. There was a lot of drama. There was a lot of action, and Hungary always is. It always produces good results. And to cap off, Oscar Piastri, you are a Formula One race winner. Enjoy the champagne this evening. Don't let Lando Norris and the way that everything was handled today spoil your moment. Take this momentum forward and win another race this year, and do this one for yourself this time round. Don't let the criticism of Norris gave it to you affect you. You have won a Formula One World Championship race. Congratulations. This has been the Only One Formula YouTube channel. If you like what you've seen here today, please feel free to give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you really want to join. Stick a comment in the bottom if you think I've made an error, made a judgment call on this video. Please feel free. I like the debate. So I look forward. No, that's dumb. This has been the Only One Formula YouTube channel. If you like what you've seen here today, hit me a thumbs up. Even a subscribe would be good. And if you want to criticize me, you want to join in the debate, please feel free to comment below. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.